यहाँ पे इमरान 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 अरे काय एडे दे रे
अरे मैडम सर 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 एक सेकंड वन पिक्चर ये प्लीज
सर ये
इमरान सर सेंटर में
सर ये
पीछे को मारना
इमरान सर सेंटर
सर ये
सर यहाँ पर सामने
सर सेंटर लेफ्ट साइड सर
इमरान सर सेंटर में इमरान सर
सर ये सेंटर सर ये सर सेंटर सर इमरान सर
सर यहाँ सेंटर प्लीज
इमरान सर नीचे सेंटर में सर
लेफ्ट टू राइट
इमरान सर स्ट्रेट
इमरान सर इमरान सर
यहाँ पे सर
इमरान सर लेफ्ट साइड सर सेंटर आप सर ये इमरान सर
थैंक यू
सर ये स्ट्रेट इमरान सर सामने
सर ये सर सर लुक हियर सर ये सर चालू में वाइट लाइट
मालूम नहीं यार
सर आ जाइए
We just would like to extend our warm welcome to Emraan with a small card.
कड़क लाइट में
अरे भाई फोटो में अरे स्टिल
अरे भाई चिल्लाओ मत यार अरे करवाएंगे यार तुम लोग हॉस्पिटल है तुम लोग यार ऐसे चिल्लाते हो जैसे
क्या भाई तुम्हारी भी लाइट चालू करो ना
वाइट मारेंगे कौन सा मारे वाइट
हाँ येलो येलो मार
It's an action replay.
हाँ लो ले लो अभी
Thank you very much. I would request Mr. Anand to please come CEO. Times now. I keep on saying Science Networking. Thank you, Mr. Anand.
ये दो ना लाइट में हो जाएगा उसको लाइट के
अरे तुम लोग यार
ऊपर साउंड रिकॉर्डर है तो बोल मत दो शायद
Full channeling. Like this, full channeling. Please come. I know you said I don't want to come on the stage. Thank you very much. Our program we would like him to say a few words and then launch the first this promo which we have just made. So thank you very much for that. Please come.
अरे भाई स्टिल साइड
First of all, thank you to Dr. Navli, everyone here at Tata, Times Network, the media present here. As we all know that cancer is having a devastating impact on our society, quite some time, globally too. And there is a very alarming statistic that states that as of right now, 1 in 3 people will have cancer at some point of time in their life. And that statistic again alarmingly increases to 2 in 3 people by the time we reach 2030. So it is pretty much become an epidemic. And it's fast overtaking heart disease as the #1 killer. But there is some hope. There is a silver lining. We've seen that in the past decade, there are a lot of countries where cancer deaths have kind of stabilized and have gone down. And all this, seems like I knew about all these statistics, but it's a completely different ballgame when you have someone very close to you diagnosed with the disease. And I'm sure anyone over here who's had a friend, a relative, a child who's been diagnosed with this disease, it's very difficult to kind of encapsulate or articulate what you go through. For those of you who don't know, in 2014, my son, he was 3 years, 10 months. He was diagnosed with a very rare case of kidney cancer. It's called a Wilms tumor. It happens, out of all pediatric cases, it happens to roughly 2 to 3% of kids under the age of 4. And my son happened to be part of that unfortunate percentage of kids. As a parent, as a caregiver in our family, we were shattered. We went through a lot of different emotions. Pain, guilt, despair, depression. But we were willing to fight this battle, and we were going to go, we knew we had to go in for the long haul. and we were going to do everything that we could to save our son's life. We knew the treatment is going to continue for 6-7 months, and after that there is a 5-year survival rate. So it's a battle that is still going on. But through this journey, there is, of course, the financial aspect, there is the medical protocol that we had to attend to. But there is one fundamental thing that got us through this. That was the information, that was the knowledge that we got on our side when our son got cancer. It was the reading, the information that we got through different sites on the internet, through books, and that made it so much more easier in his recuperation, in his treatment. And I would imagine, for someone like us in our family, we are well educated. We come from the fluent society in Mumbai, have access to doctors, internet, but we were so ignorant about things that the disease does or what it was. I would imagine what would go through people in small towns, in a place like India. There are misconceptions that people feel cancer is contagious. Even people in Mumbai, it's surprising people feel cancer is contagious. There are social stigmas attached to it. In many cases in cancers, I've heard that people sometimes don't take timely chemotherapy sessions because they take it lightly. In many cases, they feel, oh, cancer means death, so it is a dead end. So they don't even go ahead and get the treatment. But actually, it's very heartening to know that in pediatric cancers, there's a good 70 to 75 success rate as far as cancer goes. In my son's case, there was a 90 to 95% success rate. So this is what this initiative is all about. It takes that information out there and it gives it to everyone. Routine screening, these are the things that I learned along the way. I knew nothing about cancer, but routine screenings for our family right now, I feel for the rest of our families also out there, if you spend on things like insurance on a car, on a house, you don't have a good health care plan. You should actually get down to screening your relatives, your family once a year. So God forbid there's something growing in your body, you can check it in time, and that reduces the cost of treatment. At the same time, it checks something on which has a good prognosis. You have cancer where you can catch it in a first and second stage, and that's what makes it more curable. In our son's case, we got into the second stage. I've realized through the readings that I've done that, again, a very, very minuscule percentage of cancers, 10% of cancers are genetic. A huge percentage is environmentally related. So a lot of things in our lifestyle, which again, this pushes all this information out. You can put out your questions through email to them, and they can bring that information forth to you. Any query, any problem that you have, they can bring forth. Stress management, we have that in our culture. Meditation, yoga, we have, getting good sleep, eating well. In our stable diet, we have one of the best foods that actually are, they can help the body recuperate. For example, turmeric is a superfood. That's even the medical community is acknowledging that. So these are just some of the things. Obviously, they're going to take you through what the details are, but I wish them all the very best. The doctors here, people at Times Network, and I hope with each passing month here, this initiative gets bigger and better. And maybe I'm a bit too optimistic, but I'm looking, hopeful that in the next couple of decades we look back and say that cancer was a thing of the past and we eradicated from our society. So all the very best. And I guess you will tell me how to launch it.
अरे तो दिख ही नहीं रही
I asked Dr. Banavli to suggest us some survivor who can be a positive impact for our viewers, and he suggested Ritesh. So Ritesh, when he was, as you must have seen in the promo, when he was 10 years old, he was diagnosed with bone cancer, and after 2 years of cancer, after treatment, he got disease-free. Now he's a first year to MBBS, now second year, when we recorded that time he was in first year. So now he is second year MBBS student in KEM. So, and We are very proud of Dr. Panavli, Pritesh, and we want role models like him. As Imran said, that people still have this misconception that cancer can be cured, and many people, they leave treatment in between. They don't get their children treated, especially girl child. That's a very big problem in our society. So we want models like Pritesh. Thank you.
I would like Mr. Imran to just give him a bouquet.
I only like to say that cancer is nowadays is more curable, and it is now more diagnosable and well treated. It is more curable.
Thank you, Pritesh. I would request Mr. Anand, CEO of Times Network, to please come and say a few words like how you would like to be associated further on.
Thank you very much. I think, like Imran said, a large part of it is, of course, the knowledge, but a large part of it is to sort of educate, inform, and disseminate this information across to people. And as much as Tata Memorial and institutes like this, I mean, of course, this is one of the world's leading institutes, are engaged in this battle, in this crusade against this disease. I think it's the media's responsibility also to sort of take the message out there in easy to understand and emotionally motivating and inspiring mechanisms to be sort of created. And we believe that for us at Times Network, we're a broadcast network with a little bit of a difference. I mean, we talk to the English audiences in this country because television usually is seen as a Hindi or regional language medium. But talking to the English audience in the country, gives us one very important advantage. Although business-wise it's not great, it allows us to sort of captivate the attention of the top 5 to 10% of society. So out of about 130 crore Indians, about 10 crore Indians, about 8.8 crore Indians are watching Times Network on a monthly basis. And our lead channel, which raises voice against a lot of things, which we believe, we really believe that raising voice and shouting at certain issues is the way to sort of shake people off complacency. And I think that we need to sort of scream loud to be heard even in this one area. And that's the reason when this came up and Manju came and talked to us and said that we want Times Network to sort of participate and partner. I thought it's not one of those glamour things that media sort of usually wants to be with. But as an endeavor, I think it is right in the center of what we want to be. Times Now, our lead channel, talks about action begins here. We believe that whatever changes that are happening in society obviously starts as a debate, and we want to be that debate platform. We want to be that agent of change, and in the last 10 to 12 years of our existence we have been. And we believe that partnering with this effort by Tata Memorial is something that is right in the center of that action begins here. The whole theme of action begins here, and that's why we sort of been with it. I'm very happy to be with it, and I'm sure we will continue this association because, as he said, as Imran was saying, it's not a quarter or a year. It's multiple decades that we need to sort of combat this and go along with this crusade. And I'm very happy to sort of participate as Times Now, as Times Network, and as Times Group.
That's a visual message.
Imran, can we just pose with the kids first? So I think the kids are tied up there. Okay, then they'll come.
Yeah, rolling.
Yeah.
Sorry. Imran, why is cancer still considered to be a stigma in society? Why is cancer considered to be a stigma in society even in today's times?
Well, that I've still not fully been able to wrap my head around why it's still a stigma. But even in affluent society, coming from Mumbai, I have seen many stories of people. If some relative has had cancer, people are unwilling to talk about it. They talk about it in hushed tones. I still fully haven't understood why, but I think there should be a dialogue about it. There should be an open talk about it. If we don't address it in a pointed way, you can't reach the point where you can eradicate it. So when you start talking about it in a pointed way, then there is conversation, and then you can have people screen themselves, because there is a fear. There is obviously a fear that it has become almost like an epidemic. And a lot of cancer cases have kind of exploded on the scene in the past decade or two in our country. So the incident rates have increased, but there needs to be more conversation.
Why has Bollywood shied away from touching a subject like cancer? Because when we look at the West, we have at least a dozen of movies with top stars with cancer as the central theme, but we don't see that in Bollywood. I think the last movie was perhaps starring Rajesh Khanna.
Yeah. Well, in my industry, in an industry like Bollywood, it's seen as a grim subject, so people don't see the commercial aspect in that. People generally function in particular genres that are commercially viable. So because of the economics, and it's just the fear that it might not work. But I beg to differ. If a film is emotional, even if it has something addressed with cancer, if it's a good film and people like it, that film will work at the box office. And then only one person has to make a successful film with it, and then the others follow suit. So it's just a fear that people have. People have this warped understanding of what commercial is and what is not.
No, but it's interesting because rare disorders like autism and all do get portrayed in Bollywood, but not cancer.
But you see, the fact that those have done well, I'm sure that probably there is a script waiting around, or someone wanting to make a film on cancer as a subplot in the film, and then you just have the right team that understands the subject that can make a film.
Fans have been loving Badshah's look as well. Everything on that front. How is the shooting going?
It's going along. We've shot now. We finished off in Jodhpur, and next month.
How has Ajay evolved as an actor for you from Once Upon a Time?
He's fantastic. He's one of my best co-actors. He's really very very secure, like I've said before, and brilliant actor that every time I work with, you learn something new from the guy.
इमरान, एक चीज़ और कि डीमोनेटाइजेशन के बाद में ये नहीं पूछूंगा कि अच्छा फैसला या गलत है.
Can we just please stick to this क्योंकि we're going to a different territory.
क्वेश्चन है. It's not about demonetization.
Okay.
कि स्टार्स लोग कैसे कैश, अभी ये बहुत चर्चा चली कि कैशलेस हो जाना चाहिए, तो आप लोग कैसे डील कर रहे हो कि आप लोग और अपने सपोर्टिंग जो स्टाफ है वो ज़्यादा पढ़ा लिखा नहीं होता, ड्राइवर
Well,
उनको कैसे हेल्प कर रहे हैं आप?
it is, barring हम क्या फेस कर रहे हैं, I think generally across the country there are issues of people having a problem with it. लेकिन क्योंकि इकोनॉमी एक कैशलेस इकोनॉमी की तरफ जा रही है, and there is an intent, there have to be payments made obviously through, अगर आप किसी चीज़ को जाके खरीद रहे हैं बाहर तो कार्ड पेमेंट्स, you have different apps now on the phones that are available, और check payments obviously. लेकिन एक transition phase है, so once that transition phase happens, it will take a couple of months. अभी बहुत लोगों को दिक्कत हो रही है because it is suddenly hit us in the past month or two. लेकिन जब you make the transition phase और जब चीज़ हमारे एक तरह से रिचुअल में आ जाएगी, then becomes easier to adopt.
तो आपके सपोर्टिंग स्टाफ को कुछ ऐसी परेशानी है जिसमें आप
Well, checks. That's no. We always give payments to checks.
इमरान, इसके अलावा जो बच्चे लोग हैं यहाँ पर, उनको देखकर कहीं ना कहीं इमोशनल होते हैं आप कभी-कभी, क्योंकि आपके बच्चे को भी छात्र हो?
Well, they're all fighters. मैं हमेशा से ये कहता आ रहा हूँ कि बच्चे बहुत resilient होते हैं, उनमें एक will होता है. शायद कैंसर के कॉन्सेप्ट को भी समझ नहीं पाते हैं, और वो उनकी एक तरह से उनकी विक्ट्री में वो चीज़ फ़ायदेमंद होती है. एज अडल्ट्स हम जब कैंसर के बारे में सोचते हैं तो हमारे पास इतने फियर्स, इतने डर आ जाते हैं कि दैट समवेयर हैम्पर्स इन द ट्रीटमेंट ऑल्सो. लेकिन बच्चों का बस यही होता है कि दे इन द प्रेजेंट, ट्रीटमेंट के बारे में सोचते नहीं है. प्रॉब्ली थोड़ा बहुत ऑब्वियसली फिजिकल पेन उनको होता है, बहुत फिजिकल पेन होता है, बट देन जब ट्रीटमेंट खत्म हो जाता है दे रिकूपरेट फास्ट.
Will we get to see the shades of Emraan Hashmi in Badshah, or how would it be like?
We'll keep you guessing. I don't know what shades you're talking about, but yeah, all I can say, you won't be very disappointed. You'll be happy with what is shaped
But
up.
what is the genre of the film?
Can't reveal too much right now. It's too early.
How many more days left of shooting?
Can't reveal that either. Too early. When it's finished, जब पहला promo release होगा. Now we release we've announced the release date, which is the 1st of September, I think, and we'll be releasing the promo 2 months.
Was it fun shooting in Jodhpur?
Fantastic fun.
Is it
I'm waiting to going back again next month.
Emraan, is it coming with Secret Superstar?
I don't know. I have no idea.
1st September is the.
I have no idea. Yeah, 1st September. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.